To find yourself, you need the right environment. That is something I've learned recently. If you are in a toxic environment, whether that is at home or at work, it weighs you down so much that you are not able to do the work or have a clear mind to be able to figure out what is it that you actually want. So as I'm shedding toxic environments, toxic people, whether it is people that I personally know or it's work related, I am starting to become closer and closer to who I am, and things are starting to become more and more clear. So today we're going to talk about, what do I truly want? And maybe that will help you to start thinking about what is it that you truly want. And while we talk about that, I'm going to do a look with this Natasha Denona palette, the Pastel palette, because today I'm feeling a bit springy. The weather's finally starting to be nice consistently in New Jersey. And I remember that I did not like the blue shades in this palette, and I want to give them one more try just because I'm wearing a top with blue in it. But otherwise, what I love in this palette are the purples. I think the purples are really pretty and the look comes out looking really nice with the purples. But you know what? I'm gonna give the blue another try. And I've brought you guys a little bit closer so you can have a better look at the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna start off with this shade here called Airy. So in my last video, I was talking about, wanting to start like a coffee shop / like a specialty handmade, ethically sourced shop, because I went on vacation and I saw something similar at the place that I went. And I love that place, and I've gone to that like tea place for years now, and I love it. And every time I go there, I'm like, oh, I want to start something like this one day. But this morning, as I was thinking about that a little bit more, what I realized was that's not something that I would necessarily want to do forever. Like, I was like, will I do that then for the rest of my life? Run a coffee / specialty shop? And I realized no, and thinking about this helped me discover that ultimately what I want to do is have an adventurous life where I'm doing new things, taking on new challenges. Like, even though a coffee shop sounds amazing, it's still something that I will not be able to do for the rest of my life. It would be an adventure. It would be an endeavor that I take on for maybe like 5 years of my life. And then I do think I'm going to end up selling it or passing it on to someone else or changing it into another thing. Looking back at my own history in the last company that I was working for, I changed my roles so much, and I really enjoyed doing that. I love that I got to work in different roles within the finance accounting area. And now I'm at a new company and I'm loving it. I'm loving that change. I'm loving that I'm learning new things. I already have ideas in my head of all the improvements I want to make. And so new things give me energy. New things keep me fresh and positive. And as much as I want to do that coffee shop thing, I do think that at some point I'm going to have to either morph it into something else or give it up. And that's okay, because that's just how I am. But I do think I am a pretty practical person. I'm not someone who's just gonna drop everything and go and move to another place and start a coffee shop, because I'm an adult and I'm a mother and I have children and I have responsibilities. So I'm thinking for the next 5 years, I really just focus on my accounting and finance career. And then I can start coming up with a plan to do something different if I still feel that way 5 years from now. I mean, you just never know how you feel, but I think deep down you kind of know what you want. You might choose to not listen to it if you get distracted by other things, like, oh, if you end up buying a house, then you might feel more stuck in that place. So, other things kind of start to force you into not listening to yourself. So I don't want to put myself in that position where I don't listen to myself. But it was really fascinating to me that my mind is getting clearer as I'm letting go of these unnecessary pressures and overwhelm from toxic people. And, toxic people doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad people. Sometimes good people can be really toxic for your life. This shade is working out much better than how it was working out for me last time when I used it. Last time when I used it, the issue that I was getting was it was just not sticking onto my eyelid. But now I'm kind of like just slowly and slowly building it up. And I think that's working out better than trying to like pack it on. You just kind of swipe it on and slowly build it on top of each of itself. And it looks good. So what got me thinking about this a little bit more was I've been watching this YouTuber. Well, actually, she's not a YouTuber. She's a businesswoman who has a YouTube channel, Leela Hormozi or something like that. And she seems so knowledgeable about business. And so I've been kind of using her to give me motivation to try to make more money. Because I was thinking, let me make as much money as I can in the next 10 years and then do something else. And somewhere along that idea of trying to make money, you start to get influenced when you listen to people like that. And she talks about, making billions. And then you start to think about, what can I do to make more money? And then you lose sight of why you went down this path in the first place. And I was starting to focus too much on making money and becoming this person who makes a lot of money and losing sight of why did I actually want to do that. And when I really went back inside, the reason why I want to do that is just so I can be able to do what I actually want to do. So ultimately, it's not about the money. What I want from my life is to be able to do what I want to do, which is to have adventures, to do different things. I would love to, for 5 years, do one business, sell it, and then go and do something else. Maybe for 5 years, I can be an accounting professor just for fun, I want to have a fun life. And maybe I don't need to make billions. I mean, I definitely don't need to make billions. But do I even need to make a crazy amount of money and put that kind of pressure and stress on myself to be able to just do what I want to do? Maybe I can just do the things I want to do without going super crazy and stressing myself. So now I'm going to go into this darker bluish purplish shade called Bubble. And I'm going to put that in the outer part of the eye. So I think you have to be really clear and really look inside yourself to understand what is it that you truly want. Why do you want this? If it's making more money, why is it that you want to make more money? What is the real why, the real reason behind it? And I think after kind of thinking about it a little bit more this morning, I come to the conclusion that what I really want is just a fun, adventurous life. And what fun and adventurous means for me is just doing different things, taking on new challenges. My daughter's awake and she's making interesting sounds. I think she's laughing for no reason. But at the same time, I never want to put myself in a position where I'm not making enough money to take care of myself and take care of my family. So I do have to do things with caution. I do not believe in, where people risk everything and then they are stressed out because they have kids and then they don't know what they're gonna do to take care of them. I never gonna want to put myself in that kind of position. This shade is not as dark as I wanted it to be. So I think that's why I also like the purples, because there's a really nice dark purple in here to create depth. But the other shades are not that dark. I mean, it is a pastel palette, but you still need to be able to create some sort of depth. So I don't know. So I'm thinking, yeah, next 5 years, I just focus on my career, try to grow within my career. I'm a senior financial accountant, and, maybe I can grow into financial manager or a controller, and that would really bump up my salary if I really get focused and, keep learning and doing good work. And the funny thing is, this is something my brother was talking about, that people in their mid-age are very, very skilled in their career, and that's usually when they want to change their career. I think you just kind of get tired of doing the job that you've been doing for 20 plus years. And so people, they're at the height of their career, they're making the most money ever, and that's when they want to then just give up everything and go into something new. Which I think is so true, and it's so funny. So I think the moral of this story, the lesson to be learned, is to do what you love from the very beginning. Because if you are not 100% in love with what you do, there's gonna come a point where you're gonna get sick of it. And I do love my job. I do love working with numbers, but do I really, really, really love it? I don't think so. If I had the opportunity to get to really know myself earlier in my life, if I were able to discover that what I really love is doing new things and taking on new challenges, I might have become more of an entrepreneur. And starting new businesses, selling them, starting new businesses, selling them, and being an entrepreneur allows you to do different things, and, maybe that's the route I would have taken. And having an accounting and finance background in the business world is important. So my background and my education would still be helpful in being an entrepreneur. It's harder to make that change when you're in your 40s and you are making much more money than when you were in your 20s. And you have responsibilities, and it's hard to make that change at that time. And that's when people finally realize that they need a change. So I would say take time to discover what you really truly want to do, and then just keep growing in it, keep becoming an expert. And if you're living in a country like America, or there are other countries too, you have opportunity. You can do what you love and just keep growing in it and becoming an expert, and you will eventually get to a place where you will make a decent amount of money. But you have to have a growth mindset and continue to learn and develop and just keep going at it. These two blues are very different from each other. Like, one is a blue and the other one is like a little bit of a purplish blue. Now for the inner part of my eye, I can either go purple, or I can go that pinky purpley. And I don't know. The purple doesn't look as pretty as the yellow doesn't look as pretty as the purple pink shade. But I really want to use the yellow because I have not been using it. But do I really want a yellow look? Oh my god, I'm curious. You know what? I'm gonna do with what I really want, which is the pinky purple shade called Duet. The shimmer right here. because it's really pretty. And I think it'll look really nice with the blue. It'll blend in very nicely. Yeah, that's blending out pretty. But it's not as reflective as I want it to be. Sometimes skill is really important. Like a palette that might not be that good, if you have the skill set, you can actually make it look good. Because when I first had this palette, I was like, this thing is horrible. But then there was another YouTuber, Angela Bright, and when she created a look from this palette, it was so beautiful. I'm like, how did she do that? And I'm not a makeup artist, so I've been learning makeup just by doing it and just kind of figuring out, oh, okay, this works and that doesn't work. Just kind of trial and error. And sometimes once in a while people would used to comment on my videos and be like, okay, you girl, you need to watch some tutorials. Oh man. Yeah, it's not really looking that prettier with the brush either. I think I'm gonna jump into this shade here, Dainty. It looks so sparkly in the pan. That dark blue shade, Bubble, and put this in the lower lash line. Much brighter than I want it to be. Maybe I can take some of that dark purple and just kind of mix it in. Nope, that's not really working either. All right, well then let's try the yellow shade and see if it will work in the inner corner. So this is this shade right here, Limoncello. The inner corner. Yeah, that's looking pretty. I feel like I need to do something else. Like I don't like the blue here. Like I want it to be lighter. Maybe I can bring a little bit of the purple, this feather shade here. I'm so scared. I don't want too much blue here. And let's see if I can take some of this shimmer white shade. I think that's a little bit better. It's not as blue. So there's a little bit of purple going up into this area, and then the blue is more so here. So yeah, so I mixed in this Illusion shimmery white shade and this purple shade kind of together. So I'm gonna put on some liner and mascara and put on some makeup, and I'll be back and it's gonna look much better. All right, so here is the finished look. I think it came out looking really beautiful. I'm just happy that I was able to use the blues and not feel like, oh my God, what's wrong with this look? It's not working out. Like I was able to use the blues in a good way, in a cohesive way with the purples together, and I think the colors look nice with each other, and a little pop of yellow in the inner corner I think looks really nice too. Now I wouldn't necessarily do this colorful of a look, but overall I think the look came out looking nice. And it definitely gives the spring vibes for sure. It's not as reflective, I feel like, as some other newer palettes or some other palettes. If I want to go purple, I think I'll probably reach into the Roxa palette. So definitely not one of my favorite palettes, but I think a good colorful look is something you can get out of this palette during springtime if you're feeling very colorful. Spring is a time to be reborn, so I do encourage you to leave the toxic people, toxic environments behind if you think that will help you create a clear path toward finding yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure to do two things. One is to subscribe and the other one is to hit that bell notification. And yeah, we'll continue with the Natasha Denona Marathon and continue to talk about different things. Thank you. Bye.